Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is August 23rd of 2026. So, based on breaking news and events, it appears that CIA headquarters, located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland, is going to stage a full-scale Russian armed forces-based military offensive targeting Ukraine and/or other nations in Europe, possibly Finland, Germany, France, Georgia, Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, etc. Also, Syria is a realistic possibility, as there has previously been a Russian incursion there. So what we know about this impending Russian attack is that it's going to be CBRN in nature, that's chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear nature. It's going to be used as political cover for a so-called second global biological pandemic, and it's going to trigger World War III, likely in the aftermath of an official declaration of war, either by Russia herself or other nations in Europe. So how this is going to manifest itself in reality on the day of Monday, August 24th, is obviously not known, but there's I would say a 50-50 chance that this could be a full-scale Russian military offensive in reality, or it could be a false flag Russian military offensive. And I say that because there is a high possibility that the Israeli Navy will launch a submarine, German-made Dolphin-class submarine-based military offensive targeting one or more nations in Europe, and then they will blame it on Russia, possibly featuring Flamingo or Scalp, e.g. cruise missile strikes, otherwise known as Storm Shadow cruise missile strikes. There's also the possibility, because I believe that Ukraine has developed the world's largest shadow army. These are basically Ukrainian soldiers that are going to be dressed up as Russian soldiers. So some sort of cross-border incursion and or full-scale invasion of the aforementioned countries is expected. There's also the possibility that the Israeli Air Force will stage a strategic bombing attack targeting one or more locations in Europe, and then blame it on Russia. And then there's, of course, the other scenario where Israeli special forces will storm multiple capital cities in Europe under the guise of a Russian attack, possibly targeting Kiev, London, Berlin, Vienna, Warsaw, etc. What we have to remember about August 24th is that this war between Russia and Ukraine started in earnest back on February 24th of 2022. So the number 24 equates the letter X in the English alphabet, which is known internationally as a symbol of death. And if you take two X's and you put them together, it forms a hexagram, otherwise known as the Star of David or the Star of Remphan. And so this is a Zionist operation, I should say. And so this suggests that this, in fact, is going to happen on this particular numerology.
I'm gonna run upstairs, check my email.
So,
shipping when he comes in.
the date of August 24th marks exactly 34 days since Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky fired his top general named Alexander Syrskyi back on July 21st of 2026, and this is designed to make the Ukrainian military look weak and thereby invite a Russian attack. The notion that Russia is planning a massive incursion into Ukraine, which would be the third such event, was foreshadowed back on July 12th through the 16th of 2025, when the CIA executed Operation Zapad 2025 in Belarus, which featured 13,000 Russian armed forces executing a biological, chemical, radiological, and nuclear drill. The number and the date of August 24th marks 342 days since this drill took place. And of course, the number 42 or 24 equates to the letter X, and they have 3X. And that's basically the 3X's, which it's hard to explain because the number 14 was previously an X. So this war, the first war started on the 14th, the second war started on the 24th, and this would be the 24, so that would be a triple X, and that's what the numerology confirms. The date of August 24th also marks 1,642 days since the CIA staged the Russian invasion of Ukraine, as previously mentioned, back on February 24th of 2022. And of course, the number 16 is featured in the star of the CIA, the 16-pointed star, and then of course 42 replaced the letter X. And so this suggests that an attack is planned on this particular date. And lastly, the date of August 24th marks exactly 1,804 days since the CIA executed Zapad 2021, which was 200,000 Russian armed forces massing in Belarus back on September 10th through the 15th of 2021. It appears that if this is in fact going to be a real world Russian invasion, that they're going to use Belarus as a staging ground. This was the single largest military drill ever executed by the Russian Federation, and it suggests that they're going to, Zapad translates to west in Russian, and so that it appears that they're going to invade multiple countries on the west on the date of August 24th. The number 1804, this is key because, of course, the number 14 is found in the motto of Switzerland, all for one, one for all. And because the 14 was previously an X, it reflects the date of August 24th, which is 8 equals the month of August, and then of course 24 is X, and that 14 was previously X. How this is going to play out is obviously not known, but I expect there to be one or more of the aforementioned scenarios will likely happen on the morning of August 24th of 2026. This will likely escalate very quickly. The entire goal of Switzerland here is to bait the United States into a war with Russia. So I believe that NATO has secretly accepted Ukraine in as a member. And then under Article 5 of the NATO treaty, an attack on one nation is an attack on all. And therefore, if Ukraine is in fact attacked by Russia for a third time, the Russian aggression must stop. So that's why the CIA has staged in the last few months, they've staged numerous strikes deep within Russia, targeting both St. Petersburg and Moscow, targeting multiple gas and oil refineries across the Russian Federation. And so this is designed to make Putin basically angry and eliminate the threat. Obviously, if you can't walk in the red square without the possibility of being blown up by a drone, then of course the public outrage against Putin is going to increase, and that appears to be what's going to happen. So it's either going to be a false flag, likely a dual Israeli-Ukraine false flag to frame Russia, or it's actually going to be a full-scale Russian attack invasion of Ukraine and or other NATO nations. This is likely going to feature a tank battalions, probably tens of thousands of tanks rolling across Europe. It's going to be very ugly, and we have to remember that Switzerland, in Geneva, Switzerland, home of the CIA, they're the ones that are pulling the strings. They control Russia, I believe, through the Jewish Autonomous Oblast, which is JOA. It is the second Jewish state after Switzerland, which was formed in 1309. Jewish Autonomous Oblast was formed May 7, 1934, prior to Israel's inception on May 14th of 48. So this is how I believe Switzerland controls Russia. So anyways, if this in fact transpires in reality, I would kindly ask that you download this video and share it with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, and intelligence officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets.